Hello and welcome to Ani's Short Stories. I hope you enjoy this story. I'm going to try and upload a new story each day. The Smuggler, Specter of Totland. The Isle of Wight's rugged coastline whispered secrets of centuries past, but none as dark and restless as those buried beneath Totland's cliffs. Holly Arnold, a spirited historian with an insatiable curiosity, arrived on the island to research its smuggling history for her latest book. The tales of daring escapades and hidden coves had always fascinated her, but Totland held a story unlike any other, one drenched in betrayal and spectral vengeance. Holly's research led her to the dilapidated Smuggler's Rest, an abandoned inn perched precariously on the edge of the cliffs. The locals avoided the place, muttering about strange noises and fleeting shadows. Some even claimed to hear muffled cries carried by the wind on stormy nights. Undeterred, Holly rented a room in a nearby village and spent her days exploring the inn and its surroundings. Her first visit to the Smuggler's Rest was met with an unsettling silence. The air inside was thick, carrying the scent of damp wood and something metallic she couldn't place. The creaking floorboards seemed to protest her every step, and a faint chill lingered even though it was midsummer. She ran her fingers over the counter, once the site of whispered transactions, now covered in a film of dust. In the corner of the room she discovered a trapdoor concealed beneath a rotting rug. It creaked ominously as she pried it open, revealing a narrow staircase descending into darkness. Equipped with a flashlight, Holly descended cautiously. The cellar was colder than the inn above, and the walls bore crude carvings of ships and skulls. In the center of the room stood a chest, its brass fittings tarnished with age. Her pulse quickened as she knelt to open it. Inside, she found old maps, ledgers, and a silver locket containing a miniature portrait of a young man. His face was sharp and defiant, his eyes filled with a mixture of hope and rebellion. The initials E.B. were etched on the back. That night, Holly's dreams were vivid and unsettling. She saw the young man from the locket, his face twisted in anguish as he shouted silently into the void. She woke with a start, her heart pounding. Determined to learn more, she shared her discovery with the innkeeper at her lodgings, an elderly man named Mr. Graves. His face blanched when she mentioned the initials. Yet Ethan Blackwood, one of the most notorious smugglers of the 18th century, legend has it, he was betrayed by his own crew and left to die in the caves beneath Totland. His ghost is said to haunt those cliffs. Intrigued and a little shaken, Holly decided to investigate the caves the following day. The path down to the shore was treacherous, and the crashing waves seemed to warn her away. Yet she pressed on, eventually reaching the mouth of a cavern hidden by jagged rocks. The air was damp and briny, and her footsteps echoed ominously as she ventured deeper. Inside, she found remnants of the past, broken barrels, rusted tools, and a carved inscription on the wall, betrayed by blood, "I shall not rest." A sudden gust extinguished her flashlight, plunging her into darkness. Panic bubbled in her chest as she fumbled to turn it back on. When the light flickered to life, she froze. Standing before her was a translucent figure, his face unmistakably that of the man in the locket. "You should not have come," the specter's voice echoed. Holly stumbled backward, her mind racing. "Ethan Blackwood." His eyes narrowed. "You know my name, yet you tread where no living soul belongs. Why?" "I want to tell your story," Holly said. For a moment the ghost's expression softened, but it quickly hardened again. "If the truth is a blade that cuts both ways. If they betrayed me for greed, and I have lingered here, bound by vengeance." He paused, scrutinizing her. Over the following weeks, Holly pieced together the fragments of Ethan's story. His crew had conspired with a rival smuggling gang, luring him into a trap and sealing the cave to ensure his demise. With Ethan's guidance, she uncovered records and artifacts that corroborated his tale. Yet, as her research deepened, so did the ghost's influence over her. Each night, his visits became more intense, his demeanor darker. "You promised to help me find peace," he would whisper. The temperature in her room would plummet, and shadows seemed to creep closer with each passing night. One stormy evening, Holly returned to the cave for what she hoped would be the final time. She carried with her a journal containing the full account of Ethan's life and betrayal, along with the silver locket. As the tide rose, she placed the items on a rocky altar deep within the cavern. The wind howled through the narrow passage, and the waves crashed violently against the rocks, as though the very sea sought to swallow her whole. "Well, Ethan," she called, "I've told your story." The ghost appeared, his form flickering like a candle in a draught. His spectral face was etched with a mixture of gratitude and sorrow. He reached for the locket, his hand trembling, though it passed through the object. He closed his eyes, and a wave of calm seemed to wash over him. "I thank you," he murmured. As his figure dissolved into the air, the cave began to rumble. Rocks tumbled from the ceiling, and Holly barely escaped as the entrance collapsed behind her. Standing on the shore, drenched and trembling, she watched as the storm subsided and a strange stillness settled over Totland. Ethan Blackwood's ghost was never seen again, but Holly knew his story would haunt the pages of history forever. Yet, as she walked back to her lodgings, she couldn't shake the feeling that someone or something was watching her from the shadows of the cliffs. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed this story. Please don't forget to like, and even better, like and subscribe. Thank you very much, and I hope you have had or have a great day.